how do I even start this? It is 4:30 p.m. and I have been cleaning all day, like all day. Nick is at work, so I've been just preparing this house. We are moving out of the current house sit that we're in right now because of the new travel announcement in Canada. The people who we're house sitting for, we don't know them. We are doing this through trusted house sitters, but they are down in Mexico and now they are being encouraged to come home. So they're actually on their way home way earlier than expected. They were supposed to come home next month, but they're coming home today. So I am cleaning the shit out of this house. Bosco is very hairy, so it takes a lot of vacuuming, and basically the amount of food that we buy when we're living in a house is very different to the amount of food that we would buy in one grocery shop when we're living in our ambulance. I'm cooking up the pierogies because we don't have a freezer, and just trying to get rid of some of these vegetables. I made like a giant juice, and yeah, I've just been really cleaning this place, trying to get all of our stuff out so that when the owners get home tonight, we can be out of their hair. Of course, we're not going to be meeting them because of they're just getting off a flight and because of COVID and all that. So just trying to make sure that we get everything out of the house so that it's not required that we come back inside the house at all. And obviously just want to make sure everything's really nice and clean for them because they are senior, so we don't want to get any of our germs on them either. So that's what's happening right now. I cannot believe what it looks like behind me right now. I cannot believe the sun is already setting, and like, it's just, I've been at this all day. So I just did the bathroom, I did the kitchen mostly. We have a bunch of stuff sitting out in the dining room area there. And Nick is coming home from work. He should be done in about 6 minutes, and then I'm sending him a grocery list because we're also getting groceries for these people because they're gonna be in quarantine and they won't be able to leave the house. So we're gonna get them a bunch of groceries. Actually, I think I'm just gonna send him to get them. For anyone who's been following along, can you believe that it's been 2 months in here? I can't believe we've been here for 2 months. It feels like just yesterday we got here. And you know what? I am a bit sad. I just really like the dog. Like, I really like Bosco. I've had a lot of fun here. And it's gonna be kind of shitty saying bye to him. It's 9:40, everything is loaded into the ambulance now. And we've been waiting here. But what did you hear at work today?
Well, one of my coworkers said it was supposed to drop to like -20 tomorrow night. That's not true. It's not supposed to be -20 tonight. Tomorrow night. It's supposed to be -7 that it'll drop to tomorrow night. But on Wednesday it drops to -17. So I think maybe that's what he was talking about. Yeah.
Great timing for us, right when we are moving back into the van.
Yeah, it's very cold outside at night when we have to be sleeping in the van.
We love you, buddy. Oh, you know something's up.
We'll see soon.
Oh, was that funny? Night.
hair is like frozen at the end. I was only outside for like a minute. Starting to cool. It was all crispy before.
Yeah, it's like crispy.
Jesus.
Ready to brave it again?
What?
Feels like Ontario out here.
I know.
It reminds me of my childhood. Let's go. Ooh, sun. It's very sunny.
Despite how sunny and bright it looks outside, it's really cold here right now. And yeah, it's a lot to deal with.
It is very cold. It's like negative 20 degrees right now, which is cold, but like particularly unusual for this part of Canada. It doesn't usually get this cold in the winter here, and especially not for a long period of time. And of course, it happens the week that we are, yeah, I don't want to say, like, I also don't want to say like kicked out of our house sit, but like we were expecting the people that we're house sitting for to come back at the end of next month. So we were gonna go back into our van once it was kind of springtime. And now, of course, this week that we were booted from the house sit, the owners came home.
Yeah, the Canadian government issued everyone to come back home. And then, of course, when everyone comes back home, there's a polar vortex.
Yes.
Which, well, actually, technically this isn't a polar vortex. Polar vortexes always exist, like it always exists on the North and South poles, but when it becomes unstable, that's when the cold air then leaks it over.
It like jets down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it like
down,
escapes.
Yeah, and then it's just miserably frigid all over North America. It's not, like, we shouldn't even be complaining. Like, in the prairies right now, it's like negative 53. Like, it's like record-setting colds. So, I mean, negative 20 is, like, we shouldn't be complaining.
It's pretty manageable. Like, really, yeah. I'm outside in a sweater right now. It's not absolutely terrible, but what is terrible about the whole situation is that we live in a van, so it's not really sustainable, and
No, it's not.
so that's basically brought us to where we are right now. Our van is not at all equipped to deal with this type of weather. When we were building our van, we were kind of thinking more like drive it down to Mexico, or, you know, camp around Canada in the summer. We weren't really anticipating for winter here in Canada when we were building it. And on top of that, we were definitely not expecting these types of temperatures here in BC. And what we thought was just like a small cold front is actually a thing that's happening in the world right now, and people are freezing all over Canada and in some parts of the US too. So it would just not be wise for us to sleep in our van. It's warm in here now.
Yeah, 16, which is nice.
That's looking a little better.
The temperature at the front tells us what it is outside. Let's have a look. It's negative 19 degrees right now.
What we've decided to do, and we're so lucky to have this option, is Nick's parents don't live very far from Kelowna, and so now we've driven back here so we have somewhere to plug in. Because, and just to clarify for people who don't know about our ambulance or our build, so we have a heater in here that came with the actual original ambulance that works in the back of the van. So we didn't install it ourselves, we just kind of like built it into the chair there. And it only works when we're on shoreline power. So in order for our van to be heated without us actually having to turn the car on, yeah, we need to be plugged in basically. Because our house sit was cut short, we decided that it would be best to go somewhere to plug in. And luckily we have family that we have a place that we can actually do that. Otherwise, I mean, we would have had to find someone on Craigslist or something to pay to plug our van in.
I mean, our doors aren't like very well insulated. Like the door that we just came into, and our 2 back doors are not very well insulated, and our floor, we just left like, it's like a 1-inch thick piece of plywood that came with the van, so we just left that as our floor, or our subfloor, and that's not a good insulator at all. So yeah, it gets pretty miserably cold in here when it's like this outside.
Yeah, our van is definitely not equipped to deal with this type of weather.
No, and that's like, we planned for that though too. Like we didn't really expect to be
in this type of extreme,
to be in this type of environment.
Yeah, like we were planning on being on Vancouver Island, which is warmer, but even there they're getting, let's see what the temperature is on Vancouver Island. So in Victoria, even there it's 2 degrees with a overnight of -1, and then tomorrow night it's supposed to go down to -4, which is like pretty cold for Vancouver Island.
Even if we're not plugged into shoreline power, it does stay a little bit warmer in here if we're in here, obviously, but it only warms up like maybe 5 degrees. We still would have been sleeping in like 1 degree, so that would have been not that enjoyable.
Expect it, maybe dread it, but across the West, got to accept it. A late winter polar vortex abruptly dropping temperatures into the -30s, even 40s. Some places creating wind chills feeling like -50.
Yeah, I don't regret, I don't envy people who are living in, Alberta or whatever right now.
No, that's...
-50 degrees in some provinces. I've been in -50 weather. It's so cold.
Yeah.
It's like, it's unbearable.
It's dangerously cold. You can't go outside for long periods of time because your like fingers and shit will freeze, right?
Yeah, of course, or you can just get hypothermia.
Yeah.
Can it last for a long time? I mean, typically, what have we seen in the past?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the length, a lot of uncertainty. Whether it's going to really spill southward, sometimes if it occurs early in the winter, boy, it goes on forever. I mean, I've seen polar vortices that have broken down and have really dominated the winter for several weeks, if not months.
Oh my God.
The sense is that this one is maybe short-lived if it does occur, maybe a week or 2 weeks at the most, and just coming at that sort of the dead of winter. That's the period that we're really at the halfway point.
First of all, I love that guy.
Yeah, I know, the same.
He was super cute. Second of all,
yeah,
so like a week or 2.
Yeah, maybe a week or 2.
According to that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we're so fortunate that we have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise we would have either just had to like pay someone to stay at their place and plug in, even though it's still freezing in here. It's just not, that wouldn't have been great either, or like stayed at a hotel or rented a place for a month or something. They didn't wave back. Let's go back to our favorite, Freshmar.
Lumber.
I almost just slipped on the ice. It's actually like a kind of nice day.
Yeah, despite the bitter coldness, but the day itself is nice.
But all jokes aside, the town of Lumbee is actually super cute. There are 2 grocery stores. Well, this is like the main grocery store here, Freshmart, and it's kind of expensive, but it does the trick. And then across the street here, there's a co-op, and that has more of like, we actually didn't know about it when we first moved here, and then when we learned about it, we're like, oh, this is sick, because they actually have like more like vegan options, like tofu and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we'll go there as long as it's open, because sometimes it's just like not open. Oh, my mask. And then the town is actually so cute. Nick and I always joke that if we were to just pass through this town, like on a road trip or something, we would fall in love with it. This is basically the extent of it. Like down this road here, there are just like some cute little businesses. And then that's the Ramshorn pub, but they had asbestos, so they've been closed. There's a new little dispensary here as well that we went to last summer. But yeah, it's cute, isn't it? It's like just a cute little mountain town here in the Okanagan. I mean, we've learned to like it. You can use this knife. No, thank you.
-16. On Wednesday it's -21. Thursday -23. Friday -19. And it slowly starts to go down throughout next week. Still still cold, like -9, 8, 9, 8, 7.
At night, right?
At night, yeah. During the day, yeah, we have a high of -12 tomorrow, -12 the next day, -11, -7. Yeah.
Eat your food.
It's too scary.
Warm.
Yeah.
Such is life.
At least we have a warm place to. At least we have a warm place to lay our heads and.
Show must go on, baby. Show must go on.